Hail Sparks.
You want to get sued?
So yeah, Hail Sparks is back, y'all.
I love him! I'm Art,
I'm Bobby.
the host of Where Are They Now? Now let's get back to the Hell Sparks radio program, mega worldwide.
Hey, listen.
I had no idea there was an E in my first name. The Hail Sparks, or an I even, depending on how you hail. It sounds. It's like it's almost like Gaelic pronunciation. We have a caller on the line. Who do we have? Chicago.
We have Phillip from California.
Excellent. Hey, Phillip. Welcome to the show. Is this Phillip from the chat and everything? Is he there? Do we hear him? I don't hear him.
I don't hear him.
Yeah, can you hear me?
There he is. Yeah, there he is. Hey, go ahead. Yeah. Oh, you might want to turn off if you're watching the live stream, there's a huge delay. So
yeah,
that might be part of it.
No, don't lose me.
Nope, we're with you. Don't worry. Just go ahead.
Oh, I was awfully afraid I was going to lose you. Yeah, it's Phil Ittner.
Understood.
I've been trying to get in touch with you.
Yeah.
I'm a recently retired journalist. I worked for some of the biggest networks, Fox, Sky, Fox to my regret, by the way, and we can talk about that another time. And I've been watching all
Rupert Murdoch. All Rupert Murdoch endeavors.
I was primarily CBS for 25 years.
I'm kidding around, but that's great. But yeah, anyways, you and I've chatted a little bit online, and thanks for the super chats, by the way. But you have some experience on the Russia beat. Yeah, it works.
I've been trying to get your attention because I'm as I'm recently retired, it's driving me nuts that I'm not there.
Sure.
I lived in Moscow for 5 years. Я говорю по-русски, я понимаю, что там происходит. In other words,
all right, you do, and you'll clean it up.
And I've been watching what's going there. Hey, if you can go into it's Chinese. If you can go into occasional Cantonese or Mandarin, I can go into my Russian, please.
It's Mandarin. It's Mandarin. That's absolutely touche. Right.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. You're a reasonable man.
That's right.
And I've been watching your coverage of what you've been talking about when it comes to Ukraine and Russia, and I'm very impressed that a person who doesn't actually have an expertise in this, and I mean no slight by that, but I spent 25 years studying these people, and I've lived there, so well done on you.
Thanks. I'm glad.
And this is the fun part about studying Russia is that occasionally you can actually be surprised yourself because your observation earlier in the broadcast about the decreasing population and the fact that they will have a problem soon with, that's a very, very good point. And I knew it. I just didn't put one and one together. So, you're even teaching me.
All right. I try. That's the one purpose I serve. And as a comedian, there's a lot of heavy lifting in the world of compensatory information. The idea that because of what I do for a living, I have to do a little extra heavy lifting in the knowledge base side of things so that people take me seriously. And I don't disdain that. I actually think it's a good thing. I think the fact that I should have to bring more facts to the table or more information is actually a positive in that regard. So fear not. But go ahead. Anyways, I'm curious your take on.
Well, when I wore my hat as a journalist in kind of a pan-European, because I've worn many hats, including being like a producer for. Like they would send me to North Africa, and I've been to Afghanistan and Iraq, and I had to learn that whole side of things, which was not my expertise, and I certainly wasn't an expert at getting shot at, but I learned how to do that too. But
does anybody ever become an expert at that? Everybody's always amateur at that one, no matter who you are. But go ahead, yeah.
But look, we could talk for an hour and a half about this.
No doubt.
We could talk for a half a day. But look, I am in touch with people on the ground there, and I am also in touch with my former contacts within the U.S. military. And I think there are a couple of really important things that we need to discuss. Most importantly, and if you want to talk about the situation and the information I'm learning about on a daily basis, we can do that too. But it'll take more time out of your show. What I called in to talk about was two really important aspects I think that you have to understand about what is happening in the former Soviet Union. Three, really, but the two that are most important. When we talk regionally about what's happening in Ukraine, for Crimea in particular, for Russia, and for Putin in particular, is an existential threat. It would be like losing Diego Garcia for us in the Indian Ocean, not Cuba, Diego Garcia. Strategically, it's vital. The Russians have to hold Sevastopol. It is their only warm water port, and the Russians, since the 18th century and Peter the Great, have strove to find a warm water port. It's their only access, limited as it is, to the greater. The trade.
I totally understand that, and I want to make sure I totally get that, and I want to make sure you get to the second point. But I want to put a pin in the fact that was given away, if I'm not mistaken, by Khrushchev, and they could use it anytime they absolutely could have a strategic alliance with Ukraine if they had wanted one, but they chose to undermine and seize it as opposed to rent it like we do a base in Turkey.
The second Maidan happened, what we should have done as an international community, in hindsight is 2020, although I was on Maidan and I was saying this at the time, we needed to have a Yalta and discuss the status of Sevastopol and let them have the Black Sea Fleet, much as Guantanamo Bay. Neither here nor there. I'm trying to get to my 2 points because I know you have a limited time and I have so much information.
No worries, go for it.
Okay, so here's the thing. The Kerch Bridge isn't working. The Kerch Bridge is falling into the silt of the strait. It is why it has never worked. The Russians have tried it many times. To your listeners who aren't informed, the Kerch Bridge is the connection between a section of mainland Russia and Crimea. It's a very small stretch of sea, but it's all silt. It's all you can't build on it. So the Russians
Russia has a terrible land problem, which is not part of the conversation in general. As a country, they have a big, no navigable rivers. It's a problem. But yeah. Go ahead.
I'd love to talk to you all about all of this at another time.
Sure.
I'm in LA as well, and if you'd like to sit down for a coffee, I'd be love to do that.
I'm for it.
I get to a point because I think your listeners.
Yeah, go.
And I want to impart these two main points. I have sources within the U.S. military. I have sources within Russia. Everybody knows there are sections of the people who need to be in the know who know that bridge is fucking falling. I apologize.
Oops.
Sorry for my language.
Yeah, it's all right. Wait, sorry, Chicago. We'll rejoining in just a second after a slightly. Yes, that's all right. It's a reflex from my live stream where we talk freely. So I don't blame anybody. Right, that for now. We'll write that off. Everybody gets a mulligan on their live stream versus radio portion or whatever. But so did. Is he still with us?
As a former broadcaster, I should have known better. I apologize.
That's all right.
I'm really trying to get through to the points because there's
it's hard not to swear when talking about Russia. I get it. But go ahead. Yeah.
If I do, I'll swear in Russian. Okay. So I know people. I've spoken to people. That bridge isn't going to work. It sure as heck isn't going to work for the amount of rail, which is what they had intended to actually really build it, because you need rail to support Crimea. It's a domino effect. You need Sevastopol, so you need to support Crimea. In order to support Crimea, you have to have some sort of supply chain. It's not working with the bridge. They wanted to build a bridge. It's not working. That is why there is possible threat of an incursion, and what they really want to do is push down through Mariupol and get down and actually have a land bridge so that they can supply Crimea and then subsequently. So that is an existential threat for Russia. If he does not resolve a way to support Sevastopol, he is in real trouble. That is my first point, and I could tell you so much more about it. But because
I appreciate that.
Get on to my second point.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
my
okay.
second
Go ahead.
point is
Yeah.
simply this. It's a much more simple point, and it's easier for me to just give you the germ, and you can run with this. Look into the Northeast Passage.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
In 5 or 10 years, if the Arctic really does melt to a point where that is open year-round, Russia will have a stranglehold on world trade. It will be the shortest route between Asia and Europe, and they know it, and they are putting dollars into finding ways to create. They are building a brand new fleet of atomic-powered icebreakers. They are building a series of checkpoints that will take a toll every few hundred kilometers. The Russians want there to be climate change because for the Russians, it creates a massive trade route over their northern hemisphere, over their northern border, and they will be richer than anybody, and they will have a still on world trade.
Totally agree. And I will say this, they will be sorely disappointed because as much as climate change is going to affect big portions of our ice caps, it is not going to affect it in enough time to fix the problems with Russia's economy or their demographic. It won't. And they are going to be they're going to have to outsource crews on those boats and those stations to other countries to do it. There's no way they're going to seize that. There is no new world order where they're controlling the seaways because that's the one way boats can go from Southeast Asia over to the United States and Canada without being pirated. It's nonsense and it's a pipe dream. And the fact that they're spending that much money on it shows you how strategically lost they are. And it is precisely the wrong kind of militaristic, expansionist, in lieu of innovation strategy that's got them in trouble.
But it is still the way they think. I am not saying that.
And I'm for it. I'm all for genuinely dangerous, strategically adverse people doing lots of stupid things with what little money they have. Knock yourself out. It's like China's BRI is turning out to be their worst investment in the history of their country. It's a mistake, and it's blowing up in their face. And Russia started this idea under the same pretense. They started it under the idea, and they're also, by the way, this is also pushback on from Russia on China's part, because if you look at the BRI, if you look at the Belt Road Initiative that China has put forward, what they want to do, they're buying one of the commercial train lines that they're purchasing that goes through Kazakhstan, goes right through Moscow, ends in St. Petersburg, in the same area where the Nord Stream pipeline takes off from, and their outline over the top of the entire continent goes between Russia and that that Arctic route. So we are getting to a resource. Yeah, and it's still a mistake. Both and by the way, if China and Russia want to chase that nonsense and think, well, we'll pollute the world with coal, like they're the aliens in Independence Day. They fly here, they overheat the earth, kill off everything, and then they'll somehow survive. What a ridiculous plan.
I'm sorry. I apologize. How when I talk to people about that, oftentimes I give the impression that the Russians are actually encouraging climate change and they want it to happen.
No. I don't. No, I think China. I think China doesn't care. It's about what they're not doing because they think they can benefit from it. It's madness. I'm saying that the analogy is sound in that.
Idea.
Yes, that they think that, and most of their country is frozen and useless a good portion of the year anyways. So the whole world going up, it'll wipe out people at the equator who they have no love for necessarily. The same thing with the Han Chinese trying to, really spread across China and be the dominant ethnic group in that country is that a rising climate change will wipe out the Vietnamese and the Cantonese and everybody closer to those hot regions. They're the ones who will get negatively affected, whereas the northern territories will just become nicer. That the property quality is going to go up in their mind. It won't last long, and it's a doomsday scenario, but it's where they think they can take advantage of this for a few years. at the and benefit from it. It's
darn it, Hal,
insanity. Yeah.
Darn it, Hal, I was
But
just trying to find a way to segue to get the heck off of your air and not capitalize.
I know
on
we got to
everything.
sign off. It's okay. It's okay. I got to go to. I'll do it because we got to go to commercial anyways. We went way over the break, and yeah. Go ahead.
You know that NATO thinks that Russia is actually trying to push the whole migration thing. Look up Phillip Breedlove's comments about that. And secondly, I would love to talk to you about being in belly of the beast someday. You know, operations one day, those massive operations that Russia and China conducted in Mongolia.
Mm-hmm.
I pitched so hard to get up. I pitched so hard to get that on the air. For some reason, they weren't interested.
Yeah, well, that's and you're not going to be. You know why? Because some stuff you don't want to draw attention to because you want
I work for
it's a whole. I
work for
that's a whole. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, right.
That.
No, yeah, totally. But I can't tell the listeners that. We got to take a break. We'll be back after this. Yeah, thank you so much, Phillip. I appreciate the input, and I look forward to. Well, I'll in future. After we have a coffee and talk about Russia, perhaps I'll bring you on, via Zoom or something where we don't have the delay as much and it's easier to talk about details, and I can even put charts up, which is one of my favorite things to do. We'll be back right after this.
You can reach out to me, and I don't know how to get in touch.
We'll do it. Don't worry. I'll reach out.